Hey everybody, today I am doing a video on my Bissell heavy duty. So right off the bat, backstory and overview like with all my machines. These were first released in 2006 as in mid to late late 2006 as the Bissell Healthy Home. It was basically Bissell's attempt at a high-end premium vacuum for people who wanted a high-end premium vacuum but didn't want to pay $500 for a Dyson, since at this point Bissell is mostly known for lower end machines like the CleanView and PowerForce line. So yeah, and when these were sold as the Bissell Healthy Home, it was sold in a metallic blue with gray accents. You may remember I had one, if you've been here for a while, I had one back in quarantine, and I'll explain what happened to it in a minute. Then in mid 2009, they revamped the Healthy Home to make it slightly more compact, but it was still heavy as all get out. And as far as the regular Healthy Home, they changed the name to Heavy Duty, changed the color to this jet black with green accents. Dropped the microband, dropped the airtight stuff, and lowered the price. That's another thing that I left out. When these first came out back in 06, 07 as the Healthy Home, they were about $250, although I want to say there was a version of this that had a metal wand that was sold for $300, but I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, once they moved it to the heavy duty name, they started selling it for $150, and it became a Walmart exclusive. And this had a very long run. They changed the accent colors to yellow, to like dandelion yellow instead of green. I'm sorry. But other than that, they had a really long run. They were out until at least 2018, because I remember still seeing them on Walmart's website then. And I've just recently learned that these are obsolete. You can't get parts for them anymore, which is really sad. I don't know why, because they were out for so long, but yeah. So the Healthy Home. So what happened to mine is basically going to tie into what was the downfall of this machine. You see that? Built to last. Built to last. That is one of the biggest lies I have ever heard. This machine is not built to last. The build quality is very terrible. In fact, on this one, it almost looks like this hood is warped right here. Look at this edge is sticking up. But anyways, the Healthy Home. So the handle grip completely disintegrated. The cyclone and dust cup were already busted when I got them. The whole back of it just randomly turned green. I don't know how, because I literally never had it in the sun in the entire time I owned it. And the lower hose split, so yeah. And in fact, this isn't my first heavy duty. I had technically had one back as a child from like 2010 to 2014. And within that 4-year time span, the handle broke, the flap for the dust cup broke, and somehow the brush roll split in half twice. So these were not very well built machines at all, unfortunately, which is sad, because all of the lower end stuff, CleanViews and PowerForces, Power Glides, Liftoffs, were all much better built than this. Because I feel like what happened, I don't know which one came out first, Dyson and Shark, fans let me know. This was around the time the DC-17 came out, the Infinity line of vacuums came out, and I feel like Bissell just threw something together at the last minute to get in on the action. So, yeah. Now, it did clean much better than the competing Dysons of the time, specifically the DC-14 and the DC-07. I don't know about the DC-17. I'd imagine it's about the same as this, if not slightly better. And the DC-15, I assume probably cleans about the same as the 07 and 14. But like I said, I don't know if this came out before the DC-17 or not. Dyson fans, let me know. Anyway, so bottom up, I've got your brush roll that apparently has the ability to split in half. Lifetime belt. That part actually is true. Just like with every other Bissell of the time, 7 height adjustments that start at bare floor, low carpet, and go all the way to high. Yeah. 9 times cyclonic action for a superior clean. That is true. This still didn't filter very well, but I mean, it's a Bissell. I mean, they were never really known for good filtration. At least in the 21st century. Now, back in the 90s with the pure air and stuff, sure, but at least since the 21st century, no. 5-year warranty. So that's how you can tell they were trying to compete with Dyson. 5-year warranty. You got your pre-motor filter down here that could probably use a clean. Your oversized dust cup, heavy and bulky dust cup. You see it still gets a lot of stuff back here, like other cheaper Bagless vacuums of the time did. Not just Bissell's. Hoover did the twin chamber. Even the Clean Air twin chamber uprights did that. Eureka's machines did that. Dirt Devil's machines did that. Anyways, you can press this and this at the same time. You can't even see it, but pressing these at the same time will allow you to take the cyclone out and clean it. I don't remember how to take the cyclone apart, but especially since it was busted on the Healthy Home I had, but they're screws, so you probably do need a screwdriver to take it apart. But like I said, I do not remember how to take it apart. So that just sits back on. Like that. Up here we've got, ow. Anyways, up here we've got turbo brush that was replaced. It is very difficult to get back on, so this is the one machine I can see why they're always missing the turbo brush, because it's so hard to put it back on. Okay, hold on. There we go. Jesus. So this side of the machine, you've got your HEPA filter. You just pull up on this flap, I think, and pull the filter out. Yeah. Not great. And yeah, this could probably stand to be replaced. I think I have a spare Arm & Hammer one from when I first got my Healthy Home somewhere. So, okay, I was about to put it on upside down. So, filter door goes back on like this. On the back, we've got a dusting brush. This first of all, this is a replacement too for my Healthy Home. And second of all, it's supposed to have another top dust. I think this is supposed to be the upholstery piece, and then it's supposed to have another top dusting piece that slides over it. You've got one interesting thing about this machine is the fact that it does have a changeover valve that diverts suction to the cleaner head or to the hose. In fact, you can see the flap when you pull the hose out. And this is where you wrap the cord back. These cord hooks are also another thing notorious for breaking on these. Like, yeah, no, at this point, just get a Clean Viewer Power Force because this is going to fall apart after just a couple of years. The hose is extremely long, but this thing does like to tip over. So I'm kind of getting over an arm injury right now, but I can at least touch the ceiling fan with this hose. With just the hose alone, that's how long it is. So that's a plus. That sits back into these hooks, goes back around the handle, sits back in there. Now for the data sticker, It's the same place it is on every other Bissell. Model 93Z6. This is a 2011 model. 313th day, so probably like November 2011. 120 volts, 60 hertz, 12 amps. There's the lower hose that is split on my Healthy Home, which this really just doesn't feel like a very good quality lower hose to begin with, so it's kind of understandable why it broke. So yeah, for number one, for like $250, pretty much anything you got under that price range would have been better built. So this is the telescopic wand. This wand does extend. You twist this piece right here, twist it, and it extends. And you've got a crevice tool that stores inside the wand like every other Bissell. So that wand slides back in and sits back on the side, and the crevice tool slides back in as well. This one is a bit worn because it doesn't actually lock in. So yeah. Now I'll go ahead and give it a run. Another common problem with these would be power head failures. There was a circuit board in here that basically controlled everything, and there were a lot of cases the circuit board would fail, and it actually failed on my Healthy Home when I first got it. So anyways, go ahead and give it a run. So handle release is down here. This does have a better quality handle release than the Clean Views and Power Forces did. So that's the 1+ of this machine. And it cleans good, and also another thing is the switch for this brush roll is messed up. So sometimes when I stand it up with the brush roll switch with the brush roll on, the brush roll will still be running when I put it in the upright position. Anyways, go ahead and give this a run. So, right now I've only got suction on. Now watch this. Oh, there we go. I'm going to turn the brush roll off and go on hard floors. Yeah, it's like shorted out. Has very good suction. Now I'm going to use the turbo part. Yeah, this isn't a very good turbo bit. I don't know why spinning that dirt around so slow, but we can see it did get a decent amount of stuff up. So it does clean very well, definitely better than, you know, the DC07 and DC14 that this would have been trying to compete with when this first came out. So that's a plus. But like I said, the poor build quality just absolutely ruins this machine. But yeah, it's my Bissell heavy duty. Hope you guys enjoyed.